Yes, guys, welcome back to FOOTNOW. You are watching the FOOTNOW Fix. On today's episode, we are doing our mid-season Premier League predictions brought to you by the League Predictor app. We've got Oz from the Clique45 podcast and Chris, who I guess is a bit of a free agent at the moment. But I'd say we get straight into this. Chris, I feel like you've got a howler or a bad tweet of the week, can we call it?
Oh, stinker of the week. You know what? Yeah, we're not even gonna put this on screen because I don't want you guys' eyes to see the blasphemy that I saw. I was scrolling through Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Satan's like echo chamber. Minding my business when I saw a tweet from an Arsenal fan, and I should already know them man are delusional anyway. And it was who's better, Saka, Bukayo Saka, or Gareth Bale. I swear that I almost threw my phone out the window.
It's interesting that Gareth Bale pops up again because on the Clique45 channel, IO said Cole Palmer can reach Gareth Bale levels. So it's interesting that Gareth Bale's making two mentions already, you know. His legacy's withheld. His legacy's withheld.
Do you know how upset I was when I saw that? I swear down, I had a sleepless night. I was thinking back to all the goals, Gareth Bale scored. Like Mr. Pace and Power himself, Mr. PMP.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I was. If any of you haven't gone and watched the Armchair Gaffers Instagram story at @armchairgaffers_, go vote for Cole Palmer or Bukayo Saka. I know that Bukayo Saka is better than Cole Palmer in it, but I like how Cole Palmer is now making it a conversation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that the contribution towards goals and assists that he makes I think it's of a greater volume right now than Bukayo Saka. But I just feel like it's because of the form that both clubs are going through right now.
Alternative angle to this, I prefer watching Cole Palmer over Bukayo Saka because I feel like Cole Palmer embodies or is starting to embody that street football. You know that he's not in that Jadon Sancho like, I'm playing like cage football, but he's like that secondary school football of just getting the ball and doing a little flick and a trick. I enjoy that. When I watch Saka, I see nothing more than a system winger. I'll be real. Maybe it's because he's not given the freedom. Maybe it's because I haven't seen him being given the freedom to like just move mad on the pitch.
You see why he's heroes.
I don't see him doing the step overs. I don't get excited watching Bukayo Saka.
I feel like, but all right, without going too far off topic because we're here for a mid-season prediction. He at left back he was doing his thing though. Like, you know, he had that freedom at left back to sort of bomb forward and gun ho, whatever you want to call it. And then when he got moved forward to left wing, you know, I feel like under Arteta it is a bit more of a tactical system, but Unai Emery gave him a bit more freedom, I feel, when he was first, you know, making his name for himself at left back.
Can you imagine Bukayo Saka under Unai Emery right now? Bukayo Saka under Unai Emery.
Yeah. That's silly. Bukayo Saka was probably like one of the greatest breakout English youngsters I've seen in a while. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro, look what Unai's doing with Leon Bailey. Unai Emery is making Leon Bailey a bigger stock than Levi Roots right now.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Leon Bailey is the #1 trending name in Jamaica right now.
Yeah,
that's Unai Emery. So imagine what Unai Emery could do for Bukayo Saka. But anyway, we digress. Today, we're here for our mid-season predictions. The way that we're going to do this is we're just going to go from 20 up to 1. Each person will choose their pick. Want to say thank you again to the League Predictor app. You can find the link below for the League Predictor app. Go do your mid-season prediction. And yeah, again, big thanks to the League Predictor app for making this happen. So I guess we'll start with 20. Oz, do you want to say who you've gone 20th? I guess the bottom 5 is not really going to be much of a surprise, is it?
Yeah, I know. I'll just say mine quickly. Burnley. They're so poor. They're so poor. I just feel like their attacking threat is so null, like non-existent. You might as well just put yourselves in a relegation position right now and just say, let's get ready for the Championship with our transfer window moving forward. Really, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. I had at the start of the season, I think I had Burnley finishing 12th or 13th.
I agreed with that as well. Yeah.
When I did my league predictor prediction in the link below at the start of the season, I put Burnley 12th, 13th. But this, I think Burnley stink.
It's awful. Yeah.
I don't think we really need to say much else on Burnley, to be honest. So Oz, you had Burnley bottom. Bottom, I had Sheffield United. Again, I think Burnley and Sheffield United, they can just 19th and 20th. It doesn't really matter who's going to be 19th, who's going to be 20th. And Chris, bottom, you had
Sheffield
United. Yeah, sorry to any Burnley and Sheffield United fans. Shout out.
You know, the reason why I had them 20th is because, is it Ryan Brewster? It's Ryan Brewster.
Yeah.
That's it. He plays for them, and I'm so sorry. I don't hate the guy. I've got nothing against him, but for me, it's like, what has he done since winning the Youth World Cup? Like,
the Champions League,
he's failed to kick on, unfortunately, at all.
I think what it is with Ryan Brewster, and I'm not going to touch on Ryan Brewster because I haven't even watched him play this season. But Ryan Brewster,
start, TJ. That's why he doesn't start.
But why would you start him? Ryan Brewster, Jordan Ibe, Dominic Solanke until this season. All of these Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? They're Liverpool rejects. But I guess they got they were bringing through all these mixed race wingers and strikers, and they went, do you know what? Let's just go for the right back. Trent Alexander-Arnold is the one. But 19th and 20th. I had Burnley 19th. Oz, who did you have 19th?
In 19th, I went with Sheffield United, so I don't really need to go on about Sheffield. We just did it, so yeah.
They did just sign Ben Brereton Diaz, and he scored in his debut, which I like. I do like that signing.
It's a good loan. It's a good loan.
Yeah.
But when they get relegated, Brereton Diaz is just going to go back to Spain because he realizes, you know what, I prefer the weather, I prefer the club, even though he doesn't get the chances. He might, kick on over the summer training camp. So just a wait to see for him, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Chris, who did you have 19th?
Luton.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen me on the Eat, Drink and Sleep podcast, but I absolutely hate Luton. I despise the place.
I wonder why.
I think the team...
That's harsh.
You know, I feel like the team low-key, Mengi's one of the best centre-backs, I think, at under 23 level at the moment.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Or across Europe as under 23. He's cutting through doing his... I like. Huh?
Saliba's 21. I think you guys are sleeping on forgetting how young he is.
Well, we know the levels of Saliba, but we're just talking about Mengi at the moment, okay?
I just want you to be factual. You can't say 23 when he's 21 himself. Just saying.
Saliba's sick, man. We know, he's.
I know.
He's such a name brand thing to say.
Chris, he is right though. You need to be factual. If you're going to be talking about U23 centre backs, add Saliba in there. But I'm pretty sure everyone.
He's the name brand defender. Why am I speaking name brand for?
Yeah.
It's like saying Nike or Adidas. It's name brand. Let's go for a Reebok.
To the Mengi.
Teddy Mengi, for me, when United sold him, I was really upset because I had watched him through Youth Academy. I had also watched him make his debut against Young Boys at centre-back and then played the end of the game at left-back, and he's right-footed. It was strange to watch on Ralph Ragnick, but I really enjoyed watching him, and he played very well through that game. And it made me feel this guy's got a space in the team. Not sure when or how, but I thought he would have a space in the team. Fortunately, went to Luton. Luton, for me, I just feel it's I don't expect them to stay in the league, I'll be honest. I expect them to play. I think they still got Liverpool to play at some point this season. They've still got United. They've still got teams that I think will come back and rip them open. And you have to remember, the Premier League, you can win one game against the big team or draw one game. But best believe when they do come back, they're coming back on business. And they would have signed some players as well, or they would have finally got the tactics rolling. And I just believe the second part of the season, I think they're going to get torn apart. Especially because look at the squad they got. It's not, and look at the bench they got. It's not screaming, we can survive this. It is very much feed them to the lions, unfortunately.
I think the thing with Luton, I agree with you in some aspects. I'm not going to touch on Luton for too long. But I'll spoiler alert, Luton are 17th for me. I've got them staying up. I think the thing with Luton is they're really good is a stretch. They're really decent at home. And when you look at teams like Burnley and Sheffield United got beaten 9-0 at home.
It's
Like
poor.
9.
It's poor.
That is not a fortress. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then you got that was Sheffield United. Then you got Burnley as well. Like again, Burnley home or away, they look toothless at either site. When Luton are playing at Kenilworth Road, you've seen it, Arsenal. You've seen it, Manchester United. Man United they played there. Chelsea have seen it. Liverpool have seen it. It's a hard place to go. And
Oh yeah.
if Luton had maybe a striker that, sorry,
a talisman, would you say?
A talisman, yeah. Because like they got Ross Barkley, but Ross Barkley, like they sit Ross Barkley quite deep. Ross Barkley plays as more of an 8. If they had a 10 or a 9, that was really, really clinical. I thought I'd see it in Carlton Morris. He was in my FPL first week. No spoiler that my FPL is not doing quite well because of that. But if they had someone, this is why I wanted them to go out and get Fabio Carvalho. He was sat there. They could have gone out and got Fabio Carvalho, and I feel like he would have contributed at least 10 GA over the rest of the season. But I think they're getting better as the season goes on. And with Luton getting relegated, it's not a case of are they good enough to stay up. I think there's 3 teams that are worse than them. Moving me on to 18th, who I've got Nottingham Forest.
Wow.
I would love Nottingham Forest to stay up because it's a heritage football club. Brian Clough, do you know what I'm saying? Like the City ground, it just bleeds football heritage.
The
but they are
nostalgia.
in a shambles. Like they are in an utter, and I think a lot of people don't realize how bad their FFP are. Their owner just had to reacclimatize their debt, so they've essentially changed £50 million of debt into stocks. They basically said to their debtors, they've been like, okay, instead of us paying you back 50 million, you now own £50 million of Nottingham Forest. Because they had to reshape their debt. They're also probably going to get a points deduction because their FFP has been over the top.
Yeah.
Not the can't pay, we'll take it away, repayments.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and
they hit up the Klarna, like the Klarna joint.
I'm gonna say this now: if Nottingham Forest do get relegated this season, they will get relegated next season. Because you know what I'm gonna tell you guys? More than 50% of their team do not have a relegation clause in there. What that means for any viewers that don't know about relegation clauses is that if Nottingham Forest get relegated, more than 50% of their squad will stay on the same wage. Normally, when a team gets relegated, they've got a relegation clause. It means that we're going to cut your wage by 40% just so we can meet FFP in the Championship. If Nottingham Forest get relegated this season, Jesus, it is going to be bad at the City ground, like really, really bad. And I think they're going to get this points deduction as well. If they get docked 10 points, they're looking at Sheffield United numbers in terms of points.
Yeah, that's awful. Yeah.
And are we talking like Reading? Do you think financially could get like Reading kind of bad?
Nah, I don't think he'll get Reading because their owner is rich. Because with Reading, it's their owner just isn't giving them club money at all. Like he's just not putting anything in the club, and week by week he's just letting that debt compound to the point where someone buys the debt. And if someone doesn't buy the debt, Reading's owner is just happy to just let the club liquidate. With Nottingham Forest, their owner is rich, so if they get relegated, I think they'll get relegated again, not because they don't have any money, but because they can't spend any money and they'll be in debt. But that's who I've got 18th. Also, who have you got 18th?
I went with Luton because I just feel, we said these great things about them at home, but it's only once in a blue moon, really. Their performances are sort of amazing. Away from home, it's poor. So I feel like as much as we talk about their home run being decent, not great, but decent, I just feel like overall, I feel like there is better teams than Luton that are going to stay up, and Nottingham Forest is one of them. So I definitely don't have them in my relegation zone because I actually completely forgot about their points deduction when it comes around. If it comes around, we'll see when that does happen. Really, yeah.
As a Villa fan, I think Villa, we're kind of one of those category of teams where the teams that will get relegated, we can just go and take their players like a Yuri Tillemans last season.
Yeah, like a best of the rest, yeah.
Yeah, I want Nottingham.
I don't want to see a Morgan Gibbs-White line up in the Aston Villa kit.
Morgan Gibbs-White, you are a villain. You are a villain.
or Elanga as a bench option. Oh, that's even
Bro,
worse.
Elanga will go somewhere like Palace, like if they get relegated. Like, and I'm,
Sangare.
oh yeah, you like your Sangare, innit?
I love Sangare. That's a baller right there. I just feel like if you guys let Douglas Luiz go, or if Boubacar Kamara does end up going, Sangare is such a good option to just replace him with the one of them two players. But for me personally, he's a great player.
I can feel it. I can feel it. I haven't watched much of Sangare, but what I've watched, I've been impressed. I like their centre back Danilo.
Yeah.
SV days. Oh, he was an absolute monster.
7. All right, so that's the relegation zone. So we've each kind of basically got the same. The only difference is I've got Luton staying up. You guys have got Luton, Burnley, Sheffield United going down. I've got Nottingham Forest, Burnley, Sheffield United going down. So I've said who I got 17th. Chris, who you got 17th?
17th, I've got Burnley.
Do you know what? Let's do a quick run 17th to 13th. No, 17th to 14th even. Those 14s, because I feel like we've got the bottom three. I'm really the only one that's trying to be a hipster. I'm signed up to the Athletics, a monthly subscription in it, so I get this information. But 17th to 14th, those 4 teams. Yeah, Chris, go for it.
So I got Burnley. I think they will just be above their relegation spot. Fulham.
You got Burnley staying
I don't know why I got Fulham.
You got Burnley staying up.
I don't know what it is, but I feel like Burnley can fight. I feel like they'll fight. Well, I just don't know what it is, but I feel like you can't write Burnley off so quickly. I've seen stranger things happen in this league. West Ham at one point were meant to be relegated. I'm pretty sure it's Jack Grealish that scored the goal that kept West Ham up. Trust me, weirder things have happened in this league.
I'm gonna. Yeah, go on.
Unfortunately, I don't know why I got Fulham so low, but that was because I was rushing to do this. Everton, I believe Everton will stay up.
Yeah.
I feel like Everton have got the fight in them. Sean Dyche as well, and I'm rooting for Everton. On the low, I'm rooting for Everton.
I think we all are.
Bournemouth, I don't know why I've got them so high up. They really disappointed me against Liverpool, but again, it's Liverpool. I've got Palace and Wolves. Still,
yeah. Hold it. We'll stop at Bournemouth. So yeah, I think the only outlier for you there is Burnley. I think that stinks. I think Burnley are probably one of the worst teams that we've seen in the
Burnley's attacking options are stinky. Zeki Amdouni has not done anything.
I couldn't really name Burnley striker at the moment, which is insane.
They've got that one striker. I can't remember his name. He scored against us, Aston Villa.
That's always the worst phrase. That's the worst phrase.
He scored against us.
Is when I can't really remember someone.
Yeah.
But he scored against us. That's always the worst.
The ball knowledge from me stinks, to be honest, because I do know him, but names just go completely out of my head.
Might be Amdouni.
Not Amdouni. He's an out and out striker. I'll try and find him whilst we talk. But I don't think Burnley are doing much. But you know what, Chris, I appreciate you you pushing them. Obviously, a couple of your other teams, they were done as a rush. I won't hold you to that. But yeah, Oz, do you want to go through your 17 to 14?
17 to 14, yeah, that's fine. 17th, I went with Everton because point deduction wise, I think if it weren't for that 10-point deduction, they'd be mid-table right now. I think they're a very good side, but I just feel like it's just going to falter again, with the points deduction going to be added on to whatever it is. But Sean Dyche can do enough to, keep Everton up again, I feel. I don't think there's no question about Sean Dyche, Everton compared to last season. Last season I was saying, they're going to get relegated. This is their time. But this time round, I'm a lot more confident Everton being a team that stays up and bees a bit more consistently around the sort of 14th to 12th, 11th maybe areas on the league table under Sean Dyche once FFPs are sorted out at that club. 16th, I went with Crystal Palace. This is only if Roy Hodgson doesn't go. This is my only thing. If Roy Hodgson doesn't go, then 16th, I think, is going to be a home for them because I just feel like Roy Hodgson is just so outdated and his sort of motivation towards players, I feel like it's not what Crystal Palace need right now. I feel like Patrick Vieira, if they stuck with him in the long run, it would have been a lot better for them because it was just a little dark patch in their season when he got relegated, and then once Vieira got sacked, the Roy Hodgson came in, and there was a bit more of a favourable group of fixtures, basically.
Go on, Chris.
But that's all on my hand, because I'll be honest, I thought it was bloody foul that they got rid of Vieira and they had to replace him with a Roy Hodgson. Like, you could have gone for like any French mid-table manager. You could have gone Portugal. You could have gone anywhere. But Roy Hodgson was the number on your phone book. For me, that stinks. I'm sorry.
I think the thing with Roy Hodgson is, I think he's disrespected because, not being funny, bro is like 79. Like, he is Joe Biden.
It's why he shouldn't be there, though. That's why. But that's a problem.
When he took over from Palace, they'd scored like 1 goal in 5 games or something ridiculous like that.
But he can't at least say like videos of like George Best and tell him how that's how he wants him to dribble. Like,
bro, Roy Hodgson came in and they were scoring goals. Even to this day, they're still scoring goals.
Don't wrong, they're entertaining, but he's old. Like, what Palace need is a young manager with a project in mind. Like, somebody who's actually gonna be there for the next 4 or 5 years.
Let me ask you a question. Did that work for Burnley? Did it work for Leicester? Did it work for Aston Villa when we hired Steven Gerrard?
But the thing is, I'm not saying hire Steven Gerrard because, again, going to the Scottish League, let's be real, it's not like difficult. Like, it's not difficult.
Steven Gerrard is the stinkiest appointment from a Premier League club. I feel Brett Rodgers and Steven Gerrard both.
He had one job, and that was to just play attractive football with Villa. By his time, Klopp left and just rolled straight in.
Do you know when I clocked that Steven Gerrard wasn't it? Because I went to, I think if Steven Gerrard had 40 games under Villa, I probably went to about 30 of them, even away games. When he was playing Jacob Ramsey and John McGinn left back and right back, because he wanted the 2 centre mids to tuck in as wing backs, and then he wanted Luca Digne to be an attacking fullback, which he is not the greatest, and then Matty Cash. I was like, what is bro doing? He made us hate Ollie Watkins. We see what Ollie Watkins is now. He's like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's a good striker, but he made us hate Ollie Watkins. But do you know what? Again, can't dwell too much on these other teams. 17th to 14th. I have got, is that mine? Nope, that's yours. 17th to 14th. I have got, is that mine? It is. I've got Luton 17th, Everton 16th, Crystal Palace 15th, and I've got Wolves 14th. Again, Crystal Palace, I agree with you. They need to get a better manager, but I think just ride it out to the end of the season with Roy Hodgson. He will turn it around. Get high.
The guy.
Go on. Sorry.
His name's like something Still, and he's still in France.
Will
and he's
Still.
barely got the
Will Still.
Will Still. That one there, I feel like that is a match.
I'll put someone out there. Fernando Diniz. He's the Fluminense coach. He does stuff like plays Marcelo striker and build up and stuff like that. His tactical outlook. If he comes to the Premier League, trust me, Pep's gonna steal another tactical outset. But yeah, I think the only one I've got there that kind of Wolves. I've got 14th. Like, I like Wolves, but I don't know. Like, I feel like they're running hot right now. Pedro Neto, he's coming back. Again, it wasn't really of our Wolves bad enough to finish 14th. It's just the 13 teams above them. I thought they were better. Speaking of 13 teams above them, let's flick through 13th till 10th. Go with you, Chris.
I'm gonna say, sorry, I'm a little bit confused on my reading. I'm gonna say Brentford, Chelsea, West Ham, Brighton.
Let me double check.
United, Spurs.
So 13th to 10th, you've got Palace, Wolves, Brentford, Chelsea.
Have I?
Yeah.
He can't believe it. I made those decisions. No.
Back now. What the hell? Wolves, Brentford, Chelsea, West Ham, Brighton, United, Spurs, Arsenal, and Villa. Now, for me personally, I think Chelsea stink and will stink for the rest of the season. I just think that again, this is a long run thing. This ain't a short term. This is more of a long term project. So it's going to take them a little bit of time. I think with West Ham, I really like West Ham, and I think they're doing decent. But I can't like that's a bit whack for them to be like that high up the table for me. Brighton, I kind of like Brighton. I think they're playing a good game.
Stop at Brighton. We'll stick at 10th first.
Okay, deserve. I think doing a decent job at Brighton, but ultimately, I just don't see Brighton pushing beyond where they are right now.
All right. Oz, will go for your 13th to 10th.
Yeah, that's fine. Just quickly, I didn't finish my 15th and 14th positions, but they go to Notts Forest and Bournemouth.
Oh, yeah.
So just quickly do that. That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Nottingham Forest 15th, Bournemouth 14th. And then I went with Fulham 13th. I feel like Marco Silva is just a very standard, consistent manager in terms of if you want a team in the Premier League, if you want someone to keep him there, he's your guy. He's got a very good tactical system to set up in the Premier League. He proved it against Arsenal. He's proved it against other teams like Liverpool as well, but the last season or the season before. He's a great manager. I just feel like he'll keep them mid-table. Wolves, Gary O'Neill, I feel like, I'm not going to lie, if I was to redo this, I would have had Wolves a bit lower because I feel like their squad depth is not at greater quality than who I've put below them in terms of Bournemouth and Fulham. So if I was to redo this, I would have put Wolves like 14th rather than 12th. And then Brentford were 11th for me. I feel like Ivan Toney coming back. I don't think he'll leave this January, so I did this with in mind. So I feel like he'll get him revitalised again, get Thomas Frank cooking, and get Brentford 11th, and then probably say goodbye in the summer for a better team. Yeah. Wherever that team that may be, I don't know. If it's Arsenal, then I'll be shocked, to be honest, if they spend that money on a 28, 29-year-old English forward. But that's the English tax for you. And 10th as well?
Yeah, go for 10th.
10th is Newcastle for me.
Whoa.
Yeah, 10th is Newcastle for me. Because I just feel like they're gonna drop off big time. Joel Linton's gone. They're not going to add any more players. I know they're trying to sell someone. It looks likely to be Miguel Almiron, but Almiron don't want to leave. So I feel like that number 8, number 6 position is going to be so starving that there's no point in. I feel like Eddie Howe's going to struggle big time.
Yeah, that's okay. That's that. Brentford. I just want to ask a quick question on Brentford.
Yeah.
Chris, how much does Ivan Toney go for, and who does he go to?
Well, I think Ivan Toney goes to. I don't think Ivan Toney Brentford. I'll be real.
You don't think he leaves Brentford?
I don't think.
Wow.
I don't think he leaves Brentford. I don't see Chelsea spending ridiculous amounts of money to bring him in when they bought how many forwards in the summer. I don't think Arsenal, because they've got looming FFP coming soon as well, or they're currently in it. So I don't see them spending massive money. United definitely don't have the money at the moment. I don't see City. Why would City need to bring him in when they got 2 world-class strikers, or a world-class striker and a Premier League, let's say a Premier League striker, a Premier good quality striker there? I don't see Liverpool bringing him in. I don't see anybody actually going for Ivan Toney this summer. I can't lie. Especially for the price Brentford want as well.
I don't think Brentford will sell him. I don't think Brentford will sell him for that price, because remember Brentford were asking for 45 M's for David Raya, and ended up going for 25 M's plus 10 in add-ons.
Yeah, it's 30 mil. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think.
But I still don't think Arsenal. Sorry, quickly. I know what I'm jumping straight to Arsenal, but I still don't think Arsenal next summer would even buy a striker.
They have to.
I don't think
they have to.
Yeah, if you look at the reports of David Ornstein, he's saying that a striker is imminent in their sort of transfer targets for now and for the summer. So it's going to be interesting for you to say that. We'll have to wait and see.
I called all sorts of names under the sun in the summer when I was saying Arsenal didn't need a goalkeeper; they need the striker. Like, they didn't need shot stops; they needed goals scored. And Arsenal fans, abused me through the summer. I went to get my hair cut. I was getting abused by my barber. 5 games I was getting abused at church.
At church.
money. So for me personally, I think Arsenal are dumb enough to not go for a striker again.
We'll get on to Arsenal later because I think there's a massive discussion to be had about Arsenal. Oz, how much do you think Tony? Well, so Chris, you don't think Tony leaves, which is I disagree, but I'll get on to my point. Oz, how much does Tony go for, and where does he go to?
Loads of big teams come in for him, a couple, and then Brentford keep rejecting it because it's too low. Ivan Toney gives in a transfer request because I don't think he loves Brentford enough to be like, I'll wait it out. So he'll hand in a transfer request. He'll go to Chelsea for 60 million, 65 mil.
Yeah. I flat out agree.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea go for Osimhen, and then Napoli go pay the release clause, and Chelsea go can't really do that, and then they get Tony for about half the price. And I
for
think,
me, sorry, go on.
Yeah, and I think Tony is going to be the spearhead for Chelsea's new attack. I said it on the Armchair Gaffers podcast. I said it on the Eat, Drink and Talk Football podcast. Chelsea are going to win a Premier League before Arsenal. Do you want to know something? I also said that Chelsea would actually win a trophy before Arsenal. However, will they beat Liverpool? Because if they do beat Liverpool, then hey, anyone that watched the Armchair Gaffers episode, they're going to call me a genius. But I agree.
Yeah. It's the Chelsea thing as well to sign, someone that's around their peak, go big for him. It's like it's going to be him or Benzema. I just see it happen. I just see it happening.
Oh, if Benzema.
I know the price.
I feel like at some point they're going to have to spin the block on Chelsea and how much money they've spent.
Amortization.
They are going to spend.
Amortization.
Though, because already they've closed the thing off of signing players for like 8 years or something. Like the 360 deals, they're closing them off on a low.
Yeah, but this is the thing with Chelsea. Like Chelsea are still being asked questions of the profit and sustainability people, whatever they're called, PSR. They're still being asked questions, but it's not actually for what they're spending now. It's for Abramovich's money. They're saying that, look, a lot of the stuff that Abramovich kind of wrote off, you still owe that. And that will come into your FFP for these years. But I think that's a 2027 court case. Right now, Chelsea, if the governing body have to change a rule based on one club, it means that you have been extremely clever. For someone to change a rule, it means that you have done something very, very clever. Clever in a business sense, but is it clever in a football sense? We'll wait to find out whether these players actually kick on. Because if you're Chelsea's accountant, you're laughing. But if you're Mauricio Pochettino, you're going, I know that we've got like whatever, but I've got like 17.
Yeah.
And I don't like, do you know what I mean? I'm getting mixed up between Kenji Paez and Angelo Gabriel and Carly Chukwuemeka and Leslie Ugochukwu. Do you know what I mean? Like they've built like it's like I don't know if you man play FIFA EA FC 24 career modes. This is not an EA FC ad. Don't play EA FC. But when I have played EA FC 24 career modes, if I'm like a team like Arsenal, I'll sometimes do these funny career modes where I go, do you know what? Let me just sell all the players and I'll just get wonder kids, and I'm just going to level up these wonder kids. Do you know what I'm saying? And obviously I have to play every game because I'm losing if I sim it, because you know what I mean. They're 68 overall players with like 90 potential. But Chelsea have been clever. Amortization. Mr. Brown thinks I support Chelsea. I dislike Chelsea as much as everyone, but I'm just an honesty broker, and I'm just honest about teams. And Chelsea have been very clever with their amortization. 13th to 10, I've got Brentford, Fulham, Bournemouth, West Ham. Quickly, Brentford. I like Brentford. I think Brentford, they will kick on. Very poor start to the season. Fulham, 12th. Do you know what I mean? Like I think that 10th to 13th spot. If I'm Fulham, I'm just signing a deal for 5 years. I'm just saying, we'll finish 10th to 13th. No higher, no lower. All good. Bournemouth are a very strange team because they're still playing man like Lewis Cook and Ryan Christie. Ryan Christie? I think that's it.
Yeah, Ryan Christie,
Ryan Christie. And Ryan Christie is really good on the ball. But I'm at a point now where it's like Aston Villa at some point we had to say to Bertrand Traore and El Ghazi, we have to say, look, you've done us a great service over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
But we're not at that level yet. And I think, I think with Bournemouth, like they need to kick on. And they've made some really good signings. They've got a very good manager. They've actually got a very, very good manager. And they're at a weird crossroads where they can go this way and be the next Brighton because they've got an ownership that's willing to pump money into the club. They've got a stadium that is it's got, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's a good stadium that can also be built upon if they want to do that. But then they can also go this way and like they can be a Leicester. Well, not even a Leicester, because Leicester are probably a bit higher in terms of XP than them, but they can be someone like
Well, Villa, I would say Villa, like a couple years ago, they were consistently a top team and then just dropped off. So
and then fell off.
Yeah.
Don't like the slander of Leicester. I'm sorry. I don't even slander. I just don't like the fact that you mentioned Leicester like that.
Chris, they're in the Championship.
Let's be real. They're in the Championship now, and I understand. But in the time they came back up to the Premier League, let's be real. They did do very well.
They won the Premier League, but like
they won up as well.
But when we're all in our 50s, we're going to say to our grandkids, well, 60s, maybe. I don't know when my kids are going to have kids. Who knows? But when we're in our 60s, we're going to say, I bet you never knew that Leicester once won the Premier League. It's like when my dad says to me, he's like, I bet you never knew that Blackburn won the Premier League, and they were good as well. It's Leicester or Blackburn, bro. It's like they were good for like 2 seasons. They had Jamie Vardy. Nah, that's a stretch. I'm not going to compare Jamie Vardy to Alan Shearer.
And like he was balling out at Leicester.
And Brendan Rodgers was stealing a living at Leicester. Absolutely stealing a living.
Oh, I agree. Brendan Rodgers was not the right appointment for any Premier League side whatsoever. He is not at Premier League quality. He's a Championship side.
Yeah. He's an SPL manager.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He should be in the opposite dugout to Steven Gerrard in Saudi Arabia right now. That's where he belongs. And the reason why bro is not getting another job is because bro can't get another job. Anyway, love you, Brendan Rodgers. Only got 25 more minutes left, so we'll kick on. Let's do 9, 8, and 7. Let's group that. Chris, who you got 9, 8, and 7?
9, 8, and 7 is a bit insane. I can't lie right now. I got West Ham at 9th, Brighton at 8th, and Newcastle.
You guys are disrespecting West Ham's thing, Like you do have them so low.
I love West Ham a lot, but I'll be so real, yeah. I can't see Kudus and Paqueta and Ward-Prowse. Look, it takes a lot more. The back end of the season, yeah, you need more than just good, like little good bits of like moments. Like you need more than that. You need that grit, that determination. Like who they got playing that striker?
No one.
Right now? Because actually, that's what
Mikel Antonio's on Sky Sports, bro.
That's what I'm saying. You need more than you need more than 3 players to keep you up, especially or to keep you in and around European sports. And I feel like for West Ham, although they've got a good midfield and they've got a couple good wingers and that, West Ham need more than that. And even if it is going to be one player, you have to be insanely good. Like you'd have to be putting Jack Grealish level numbers up from when it was lockdown, before he left Villa. You'd have to be putting numbers up to be able to do that. And respectfully, I just don't feel like they've got the place to do it. Brighton, I love Brighton a lot, but I just don't really feel like Brighton ain't really. I don't know. I just don't see Brighton getting into the top 6.
I don't think they've got the firepower yet, Brighton.
Newcastle right now, with the extramarital disarray that's going on over there, and the consummating of concubine activities, I just don't see them really getting further than 6th. I'll be honest. I feel like Eddie Howe, I don't like the reputation he's about. If he gets fired from Newcastle, the reputation that then proceeds to follow him is one I don't like. And it's one of Eddie Howe is the stepping stone to a better manager.
Yeah. I think he was always that.
He's Mark Hughes. He's Claudio Ranieri at Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? He's Mark Hughes.
I don't like because no British manager has actually won the Premier League before, and it's like I would have preferred him to be that guy at some point,
It's not happening.
but it's looking like he's becoming the stepping stone to a better manager, which I feel makes me a little bit
hear it.
uncomfortable.
I think with Eddie Howe, I think he's a good manager, but they've been running hot for like 18 months now. Like they've been really like scorching hot for 18 months now. And like there is only so many games where Joe Linton is going to put in a crazy performance. There's only so many games where you're going to get, you know, a stellar left back performance from someone like Dan Burn. Like I'm not being funny. They're playing Jamal Lascelles centre back right now, and he's been playing well, but this is Premier League football in 2024. You're not getting top four with Jamal Lascelles as your option centre back. And I heard someone comparing Jamal Lascelles to Tyrone Mings. Never do that ever again. Never do that.
They need to start spending real money, like on a level. We need to start seeing them spend real money.
They can't.
Now.
They've hit their FFP ceiling. If they want to spend more money this summer, they have to sell Bruno, Isak. Almiron is going to get you pennies. If we're being honest, Almiron is just a regenerated Jose Perez. Who else could they sell? They can't sell Botman.
Callum Wilson's being spoken about.
Callum Wilson is like
I would Man United.
Callum Wilson. I feel like it. Remember when Adam Smith went to United from Leeds, and it was a bit like, maybe 3 years ago, but not now. I don't know. Like I think,
Bournemouth days, I would have snapped your arm off.
It just stinks now. It just stinks now.
Bournemouth days,
I
don't know about.
It's like,
go on, Ozz.
Oh, I was going to say, I think Callum Wilson signing for Man United, it just goes alongside the January transfer windows they've been having for the past couple of seasons. Igalo, Cavani, you got. Weghorst. It's along them. He's the best player out of all of them. Past 30, he is definitely the best one. But the transfer policy is still the same. Another 30-year-old plus striker that's just going to come in. And what's he going to do?
Well, nobody can tell me that Cavani didn't do.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But
Chris, Cavani just tried really hard. That is what he did.
But
that's all he did.
No, I don't like this.
Odion Igalo, Wout Weghorst almost cried when he scored for United. Do you know what United are very good at? They're very good at buying strikers that have always dreamt about playing for United. Because remember Igalo, when Igalo signed, he was doing this is a dream. Oh man, he was probably walking into Old Trafford like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I work here.
And then Ronaldo's going back and like, what is this disgusting place?
Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure. Like, you know when like you accidentally sneak into set 1 maths, but really you're set 4, and you're just there to be there.
That's who United signed in January because they're like at least they're not going to be out clubbing on Dean Street. Do you know what I'm saying?
Or you're one of that kids that just happen to get into GCSE.
That's what. When United are in the mud, they go, let's buy a player that loves us because at least we know they're not going to leak any of our stuff to the papers.
I think it's whack though that United keeps signing players that like Cavani. I feel like we signed him years too late. We signed Cavani almost 8 years.
I'll hold you there because we will get onto Manchester United. And I kind of want to get through like this kind of this last tier. Ozz, 10th till 7th? 10th till 10th?
987.
987, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. 987. So Brighton were 9th for me. I think we've all had them there or thereabouts, if I'm not wrong, in that sort of area, 987, because it's a sort of a faltering season for them. You know, they peaked so well last season that now they're just faltered this season, I feel, because of they haven't really added proper quality. 8th, I went with Chelsea. I don't know if that's going to be a shock to some people, but I feel like the sort of run they're doing right now, it should help them, hopefully, to boost them up the table a little bit more. And I think what we're seeing from Poch is starting to be a little bit more better. I'm not going to say it's, fantastic, but I feel like he has a better understanding of his 50-man squad. And then 7th, Yeah, 7th. I went with Manchester United.
Okay, I hear that.
Manchester United for me. Ten Hag. I don't know. There is a feel good factor right now because of Ineos, but January is not a time for transfers, and that squad isn't good enough to try and get top European level competitions. I just feel like that team's in the mud right now. The squad's in the mud. The manager's struggling, and he's lost his hair on his head. He's got to lose the hair on his chin. So I think it's just whether he gets sacked or not is another question. I doubt it, but I just feel like Manchester United and their transfer policies, if Ineos don't fix up, then I just see consistent low positions for Man United. Of like, there's this cycle I like to go back to with Man United. Sack a manager, get a new manager in, do really well, say he's the one, get him on a new deal. Performances start going bad, sack him, get a new manager, performance really well, an extra little deal, and then he gets sacked again. That is literally the cycle of a Manchester United season, basically. You could do that cycle for 5 years. You could do that since Alex Ferguson's left. That is literally the most consistent. Like, that's what they've become. They're not a top team no more. I think I'm comfortable.
Wait, so what team do you support?
Undisclosed.
He doesn't say. Yeah, he doesn't
Undisclosed.
say. This is why Chris
it's a London
Chris,
team.
this is why I respect why he doesn't say it, because as soon as he would have said it, you would have taken all of the attention off of Man United and you would have put it onto his team.
Yeah.
We're speaking about Manchester United right now.
I would like you to explain to me how you can call the modern era Manchester United a big club. I would really like you to defend it.
He's got to be a Spurs fan. I swear to
Answer the
Spurs or Chelsea.
Shame the fan.
Don't question me. Just answer my question.
You know what it is, yeah? In all honesty, I really don't disagree with you. Like, I don't. But it's like, with United, since Alex Ferguson left, you can easily just sum it up as disappointment and overhyping it. I think overall, it's hard. It's really hard to like sit here and just hear someone say this about your club, but it's true. Unfortunately, like, and I feel like United, if they had stuck with Van Gaal and had backed him, they probably could have won a league. If they stuck with Mourinho and backed him, probably could have won a league. United could have won a league with almost any manager.
No. Sorry,
I think
Chris.
it's fair to say that, PJ. It's fair to say. I think it's fair to say that because
they could not have won a league. Do you know what?
United have been wait, sorry, but you do realise the way the Premier League's gone, where you have to win almost 38 games of the season before you can win the league. That is a very recent thing to happen. Like, it only really started when Pep done the 100 points thing. Like, but before that, it wasn't always like that. I think United have bunny hopped and have been bunny hopping from vision to vision. They've gone with superstar manager, didn't stick with a superstar manager. They've gone with revolutionary, didn't stick with a revolutionary. They've gone with the club legend, good vibes, and didn't stick with him.
But it's not
so
the
I thought
coach.
United stopped in one direction.
It's not the manager.
It would have surely amounted to something.
It's not the manager. It's the club as a whole. But that's
what we're saying, though. Managers don't fire themselves. Managers don't decide to go, right, I'm fired.
But
45 in the morning.
You can't. You can't win a league. Like, you cannot win a league when you've got a dysfunctional Paul Pogba in your squad who doesn't really want to be there. You can't win a league when you've got when you've got a 23-year-old Luke Shaw who's just being absolutely rinsed by the media. You can't win a league when you've got an £80 million Harry Kane as a centre back. United, since Sir Alex Ferguson retired, they have made so many bad decisions that I find it unfathomable.
But if United had gone, okay, look at it like this, year. There's players that Van Gaal wanted, United didn't get. And I feel personally, if United had even got half the players he wanted originally, they could have done something.
But now,
same thing with Mourinho.
But now,
I can't lie. Like, the way I see United is, United would have at least amounted, even if they couldn't sustain the success of winning multiple Premier Leagues, they would have won probably a Premier League if they had stuck with one person.
They would
and just gone in that direction.
But now you're
gone in so many different directions. It's like, what now do you do?
But now you're talking about a completely different club, because you're saying, well, if Van Gaal bought, if the board let Van Gaal buy these people, the board was never going to let Van Gaal buy those people, because that's not the ethos of the club. The ethos of the club is, how are we going to sell shirts? Paul Pogba.
But if you're running in 5 different directions and not sticking to one direction, how are you going to get home?
The manager,
if you're running up one road, down another road, and you're not sticking to one road, you're not going home.
Manchester United could have hired Pep Guardiola. He would not have won a league there. Manchester United could have hired Jesus Christ, the Redeemer, bro, and they would not have won a league.
There is no. My thing is, there's no making a mistake. There's nothing wrong with making a mistake. 100%. There's nothing wrong with making a mistake. But making a mistake and then switching ideas to different places, it don't make sense.
But that's the thing. The managers are only switching the ideas tactically. Manchester United's problem goes.
I'm talking about the club and the philosophy of who they hire. You can't hire a Van Gaal, a tactician, and then not stick with a tactician. Then go with a defensive Jose Mourinho, a pragmatic defensive Jose Mourinho, and then fire Jose Mourinho. Then go for an Oli who loves counter-attacking and wants to switch it in his third season. You can't do it, unfortunately, and want success.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, though. They could have stuck with any of those managers. It wouldn't have made a difference. The defense changing from the defensive style to the tactical style would, because look at the facts. You have literally gone through every different style of manager tactics wise. You've gone defensive, you've gone passing, you've gone counter attack with Oli. You've had the arm around the shoulder with Oli. You've had the stiff upper lip with Van Gaal. You've had the I'm going to develop the players as people with Jose Mourinho. You've had the British manager who's going to connect with those British players with David Moyes. Every single one has flopped. If this was 2017, then I go, do you know what, Chris? Maybe if you kept Mourinho, you would have won a league. But it's been 11 years. You have tried A, B, C, all the way to Z, to the point now where the only way that you're going to change as a club is by literally getting someone else in to control the football operations. That is what Manchester United have realised. Because I hate it when Manchester United fans say, "Oh, well, we've made so many wrong decisions." Because when you bought Paul Pogba, you were all cheering.
Pog back.
That's
what people were saying.
When you bought Zlatan, it was the return of the Mac.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. When you bought Daily Blind, it was like, oh, shrewd Dutch business. When you bought Harry Maguire, it was like, yeah, he's 80 million, but have you seen him play for England? The boards haven't. Do you know what I mean? Like the issue goes so much deeper than the tactical start and the players.
I feel like this is a Man United intervention we need.
Yeah, this is a man. Sorry, Chris. Chris, do you know what? We're going to put it in a diary. Manchester United intervention, because we've only got about 15 more minutes left.
As much as I love slating Man United and the ownership, I feel
it's the look on Chris's face right now that I love talking about Manchester United.
Do you want me to go from 6th to 3rd?
Go 6 and 5 real quick. We'll do 6 and 5 real quick, and then we'll do top 4.
Just 6 and 5. Okay, 6 and 5. I've got United at 6th. I personally just don't see us progressing any further than 6th. The season's been a bit drab. I don't see it getting any better. We lost the behind closed door game to Burnley yesterday. God have mercy. If you can't even beat Burnley behind closed doors, I don't see how you're going to progress any
further. Please tell me it was at Carrington. Please tell me it was at Carrington.
It was at Carrington. Two places you're training around, for God's sake. Tottenham, I just don't see Tottenham really getting further than 5th. I'll be honest. Ange Ball's nice and stuff, and we've seen it develop, but I'll be real. Liverpool are looking very, very. They're looking very they're looking very title contenderish. City steamroll. I predict them to steamroll them. I think they haven't played Villa the second time already. I think Villa will sneak a win against them. I think Arsenal will probably, if they haven't played Arsenal for the second time, I predict Arsenal to come to stand on business and to do what needs to be done.
All right. Oz, who have you got 6 and 5?
6 is West Ham for me. I just enjoy watching West Ham. The quality they got. I think they are going to be the surprise package in the second half of the season. You know, Brighton was a bit of that last season. And yeah, I just see West Ham doing that similar sort of replica.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go on.
What are West Ham good at?
What are West Ham good at? I feel like for me personally, it's the way that they attack through the middle, and I feel like the quality that they got through the middle is so vital for the way David Moyes plays, because I don't think he likes to play with wide wingers. Because if you look at his peak Everton times, Steven Pienaar and I want to say Leon Osman, both of them,
both wingers.
Leon Osman,
inverted, very, very, very midfielders out wide type of people. And I feel like even though they don't have the wingers at a quality due to the Bowen played at number 9, I feel like with them tucked in, Moyes is playing peak version of his tactics, I feel, right now. And it's a replica to what Everton were doing when he was in charge of them. And I just feel like the way they attack through the middle, they don't really let anyone like mess them about. And Kudus is a player at the quality where he can change a game on his own in terms of like get past the defender, and then he opens up a new channel for you to play really well, basically.
Yeah, fair enough. I had West Ham 10th. I think
that's
West
why
Ham...
I said you disrespected them too much.
I don't think I've. Do you know what? Maybe I am disrespecting this new West Ham, but I've been watching West Ham since I was like 6, 7 years old. They always do this. They always do this. They tease that they're going to now jump into that next level, because that's what West Ham have always been. West Ham have always just been on the cusp. They're a bit like Aston Villa, where, you know, for the past 20, 30 years, they have bounced between the divisions. But when they're in the Premier League, it's like, you know, are West Ham going to be good?
Yeah,
this
trying to
season?
get that best of the rest status. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Fifth, I went with Tottenham as well. Same with Christopher. I just feel like it's a team that is not there yet for Champions League football, and I feel like the teams above them that I have are a little bit more better equipped to get in Champions League football.
Do a quick question for both of you guys. Do Spurs challenge for the title next season?
No.
God no.
No?
God no.
All right. Okay.
Spurs will forever be like, you know, Spurs will forever be shrewd signings and at some point entertaining football. But Spurs will never be able to push beyond that. I don't care what anybody wants to tell me. They'll never be able to push beyond entertaining football, shrewd signings.
I think I agree with you in some aspects, but I also think that Spurs did what Man United are doing now 2 seasons ago, where they went, we kind of need to change our outlook on how we approach signings. Like, remember, Spurs used to be really shrewd, but now they are going for big players. Bentancur, Kulusevski. Who else?
Porro, you could put in that.
Porro. Who's the centre back?
Pedro Porro, a big player.
You wish you could have him at your right back position.
Yeah.
Don't talk dirt on his name.
Yeah, do you know?
Let's not talk about United right now, because it's not United.
You started it. You just said Pedro Porro as if we just spoke about Emerson Royale.
Pedro Porro is one of the best right backs in the league, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can swear on this because it's been endorsed, guys. Please, guys, remember, go and check today's sponsors.
League Predictor down below. Very, very, very quickly, Chris, because we are hitting time. 3 right backs that are better than Pedro Porro in the Premier League.
Trent. Bloody hell, I hate Spurs. This is Spurs by Arsenal. Okay.
I'll give you Kyle Walker. One more.
I don't.
You don't need a TA. Why are you helping him? Don't need a TA.
But I don't
top 3. You're doing top 3 right backs. You don't
feel Kyle Walker's that good?
That's another conversation. Can we finish the table?
Yeah. Let's finish this table. So 6th and 5th. This is the beauty of FOOTNOW, guys. Please like, subscribe, comment. 6th and 5th, I've got Brighton and Spurs. I've got Brighton above Manchester United, Newcastle, Chelsea, just because Brighton are a lot more consistent in their tactics. Newcastle kind of chop and change between game and game. Some games they'll have this really kind of, you know, forward-thinking, bursting attack, and other games it's like, what has happened to Newcastle? United, I am being generous to United by putting them 7th. I would have put them 10th or 9th. However, main character syndrome. United have got this armor, this plot armor. It's one thing I like about United is it's a never say die attitude, and I saw it against us when you came from 2-0 behind. And I think Sir Alex Ferguson's judge is still there. It's still there. He's pissed underneath the penalty spot. And you guys are still feeling it because there's some games where I'm like, how are they winning? But that's 7 and 6. Top 4, I'll go first. 4th, I have Arsenal. 3rd, do you know what? Yeah, I put us 5th. I put us 5th or 6th.
Oh, I was thinking, why haven't you said 5th yet? Oh.
So 5th, I've got Spurs, but I was putting
Oh.
I put Villa originally 5th or 6th. And do you
Okay.
know what? You know what I did? I went, stop being such a pessimistic fan and just dream for once. So I've put Aston Villa 3rd, and then I think Manchester City and Liverpool. I think that's going to be its own title race. I think those two were both asleep. Obviously, City have been winning the title, but those two were both asleep as rivals. I think the next 5 games, a gap emerges between Liverpool, Man City, and Aston Villa. Whether Arsenal are in that league, because Arsenal can very easily be above us in 3rd, and they can be in that league as well. Whether Arsenal are in that league really depends on if they can fix the goal scoring issue. Obviously, they went and thumped Palace, 5-0, 4-0, 5-0. But because, like, do you know what I mean? Like, if Joe Biden went and set out an 11-side team, then I'd beat him 5-0. And then, 2nd, I have Manchester City, and then winning the title, I've got Liverpool. I'll do this very quickly because I think we can maybe do another stream where we kind of talk our title favourites. But I just think Liverpool, what they've done is very clever this season. I think Jurgen Klopp. One thing I've been able to clock from Jurgen Klopp is that he's having fun this season. Whenever his players miss chances, you see him on the sidelines smiling and clapping, and it's not a "we needed to score" that feeling. It's okay, like I'm here with you boys, like we're growing together type of thing. And I think what Klopp was doing wrong the past couple of seasons is that there was a lot of pressure to win. And I remember a FOOTNOW Ed actually gave me some very good just life advice, but I think you can apply this to Liverpool. Is whenever you take the fear out of situations, the people that you're managing tend to work so much better, because if they think you're scared about something they might do, then they're going to be 10 times more scared. But if you are all right with Darwin Núñez missing all these chances because you know that he's going to contribute a lot more to the team, if you're all right with Luis Diaz not quite hitting the do you know what I mean? Like where Luis Diaz can be, it means that at least at some point in this season, they're going to come good. And I know everyone's saying Darwin Núñez is missing all these chances, but Darwin Núñez has got 10 goals and 10 assists this season. Shout out Aston Forza, because Aston Forza, I was wrong. Darwin Núñez might be the truth. If you go look at Darwin Núñez's underlying stats, Oz, they are scary. Like, the only thing that he can't do is hit the back of the net. And I know that's a pivotal part, but he's only 22, 23 years old. As soon as this guy makes 25% more chances, he's golden boot contender every single season, because the amount of chances that he's able to create, not just for other teammates, but for himself, is absolutely ridiculous. And I don't think I've seen anything like it. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this. I think when it's all said and done, Premier League. I think when the Premier League is all said and done, I think we look back at Haaland, and I think we look back at Núñez, and I think we go, Haaland scored more goals, but Núñez was more pivotal to his team. Put it into NBA terms, if Haaland and Núñez this season are side by side, Núñez is the MVP. Haaland has got the better output, but Núñez is the most valuable player, because he's the first player this season to hit double-digit goals and assists, and he's missed half of his chances.
In all comps.
But he's missed half of his chances. He's still the first. He's like, if you deep that, Ollie Watkins is scoring a lot of goals, but he's converting 60, 70% of his big chances. Darwin Núñez is converting about 30% of them. I'm going to put a graphic on here. It's shots to goal ratio. So it's the players that have had the most shots to the players that have scored the most shots. Erling Haaland will be somewhere up here, but Darwin Núñez is all the way out here. And on the face of it, it looks like a bad statistic. But when you see how far out Darwin Núñez is, you get a real sense. Yeah, you get a real sense of this guy is creating chances at a stupid level. And Oz 2 weeks ago, I was in the Villa group chat. I was like, Aston Forza, shout out Aston Forza. I was like, Aston Forza, this guy is not it. And then I just watched him play, and I was like, yo, this is a ball, man.
Big Dan, shout out to Big Dan on the Clique45 channel, because he said his eyes bleed when he watches Darwin Núñez. He says his eyes are bleeding. And I wouldn't go that far, but what I would say about Núñez is that I just feel like the opportunities he creates, is like the shooting chances he makes, the amount of times it gets blocked, it's because that shooting chance isn't there, so he just takes the shot anyway. He's too trigger happy, and his technique is poor. His technique is really poor, I would say, as well. I know he's got 10 goals and whatnot, so that maybe you can say, but like you said, he's got double digits in both. I just feel like his technique is so poor that I feel like XG can only tell so much of a story for him, I would say.
Yeah, I agree with that, but at the same time, XG it's the expected goals, and when you look at players, and especially strikers, if they're over exceeding their XG, then it's a worry. You don't want to sign that player.
No,
because it's like he's running hot. He's do you know what I mean? He's doing better than he's expected to do, and overachieving only ever lasts so long. You can't overachieve for 2 seasons. Maybe you can, but not consistently. Whereas when you're underperforming XG, managers lick their lips because it's like, yo, if we can just develop this guy over a couple of seasons, then it might be scary. And I think with Darwin Núñez, I think if he stayed at Benfica for 2-3 more seasons, if he wasn't discovered, he would be Victor Osimhen right now. Because Victor Osimhen is, 3 years older than Núñez? And if you look at Osimhen, when he was at, before Napoli, I can't remember who they signed him from.
Wolfsburg?
One of those.
Yeah.
But when you look at Osimhen back then, Osimhen is kind of like Darwin Núñez now, in terms of he was clunky. He didn't have great technique, but then he developed his play. And now we can talk about Osimhen as one of the best strikers in the world. So yeah, Chris will go into your top 4.
My top 4, I'll be honest, I think Arsenal, again, if they don't fix consistently having a goal scorer, or if someone doesn't snap into second half of the season form, I don't see Arsenal being even in the top 3. I'll be real. Unai Emery and Villa, Unai Emery doesn't, in my opinion, get the credit he deserves a lot of the time. And you know what? Hands in the air, I used to call Unai Emery a bit of a shit manager.
Because he was your rival's
rival, and then he did with Villarreal going to beat United. But watching him go with Villarreal to beat United is where I've realised, no, this man is actually pretty smart. He knows what he's doing, and you can definitely tell he spends time actually thinking about the opposition. So Villa play more towards the opposition's weaknesses than towards their own strengths. And I realised that when we played them in the UEFA, in the what's that? What's the
Carabao Cup?
It was the Europa League final.
Oh yeah.
And do you know what made me laugh was he got their CDM. I think it was Capu.
Yeah,
Capu.
Yeah.
He got Capu to sit on Bruno Fernandes and push Bruno Fernandes deep, which was really funny. United also conceded in that season a lot from very high up free kicks. Who goes and gives away the free kick? Edison Cavani, which again, Edison Cavani have been booked a fair few times for working hard and tracking back and defending. And United failed to clear the set piece. They score. Bruno Fernandes is ineffective in the game. And at the end of it all, you have to just clap for Emery because he's very tactical. And he plays more towards the team's weaknesses than towards his own team's strengths. So I just see them sticking at third. Ollie Watkins is having a great season. I think Ollie Watkins knows if he can round out this season very well, he's going straight to Germany. So I think that's a very good incentive for him if he stays strong. City, I feel like City being second, I just see City being second. I don't know what it is, but I can just see City finishing second.
I think they used all their XP last season for that treble.
I think it's gone cold for them. I can't lie. Like, even if Haaland does come back, I just don't really see Haaland. I see him bagging, don't get me wrong, but I just don't see Liverpool slowing down at any moment, especially because I think Klopp this season, and I think the Liverpool team, like you guys have alluded to, they're actually having fun. Like, this is no longer like, we must beat City, we have to beat City. This is, we're having fun. And I
Let's just
think
see who's in front of us.
fun, or having that lax attitude is what got them their Premier League. It's what got them their Champions League. It was all about being relaxed and just going out there and doing what they like to do, which is attack. I feel like when they did try to be serious, they did try to egg on the rivalry and stoke the flame. I feel like they got burnt multiple times. I feel like Klopp's just going back to what he knows, which is have a good time out there, put out the strongest team that can get the result, and also just doing what gets them, whatever gets them the points, because I see what he done against Bournemouth. And even like you're saying about Darwin Núñez, I feel like Jota as well. I feel like he may power them. He may be the one to power them to a Premier League title. So I see it being Liverpool first, City second.
Liverpool first, City second. I hear it. Oz, your top four?
So I've gone with Aston Villa fourth. I just feel like they're the Newcastle of this season in terms of being the surprise package for the top four, being a disruptor. And I agree with you guys. Unai Emery is a great manager. He's better than Mikel Arteta, even though he had a stinky decision to put Lucas Torreira in the 10, which was questionable at the time.
Very
but yeah, he is a great manager. He's shown it everywhere he's gone, minus Arsenal. And I just feel like that just shows a lot about the club rather than the manager, personally, for me. And then I went with Arsenal third because I feel like what Crystal Palace shows is that everyone just like, I thought it was just Arsenal fans. It's just football fans in general. Everyone is just overreacts to how bad Arsenal go. You know, they end up going 3 losses in a row. Then it's like, oh my god, what's gonna happen now? And then they go beat Crystal Palace 5-0, and then no one's really talking about Arsenal anymore in terms of what the situation, what the problems are. Yes, there's talks about number 9 issue, but that's not like a major. I don't think it's a major problem because goals get shared amongst the front three as well as the midfield.
Sorry. I don't think it's that, I'll be honest. I feel like second half of the season, you always need that one man to step up and make sure he basically powers it home for you guys at the top of the pitch. You also need that defender who's also going to make sure ending the season you guys stay above the water. I don't feel like they've got it going forward. I looked at last season. I said the same thing. Arsenal literally, when it was time to step up, or when it was time for one of them to step up and be that goal scorer, they didn't do it.
But I think the issue with that is like, it's like you said, you need that people to step up. They had Saliba out injured for the end of the last season. They had, Tomiyasu, who was a very good rotation option for them. Trossard came in as a January signing to be that Mudryk B signing sort of. And I don't think he's been a big problem at the club. I feel like there's a lot of creativity amongst them. It's just about how to get your forwards into the right positions for Arsenal. That's my main issue with what that club are doing right now in terms of how they're sort of setting up to get into the right positions for that goal scoring opportunities. Personally, that's what I can understand what you're saying, but I feel like what they showed last season is that you don't need a number 9 to be consistently, trying to battle out for top 4. I'm not saying for the league right now, I'm saying top 4. So for the league, yes, you do need that 20 goal striker, 50 plus goal striker. But I'm saying for right now, where Arsenal are, they're not here in a title race. If their fans think they are, they're delusional. But it's just top 4 for them right now. Go on.
I personally think that Arsenal are in a title race, and I think when Arsenal fans, when a lot of people say, "Oh, Arsenal are in the title race," I think it's discrediting them. I think Arsenal, a very quick analogy, it's like trapdoors, right? When you play to a certain level, it's harder for you to regress to the level before than it is to elevate to the next level.
I get that.
Arsenal know how to challenge for a title now. So, like, if this situation was happening last season, dear oh me, Arsenal would have finished 5th or 6th in the end.
Liverpool 2014 also challenged for a title and didn't win the next title. for like 4 or 5 years. Like,
They changed managers.
I know, but for me, the way I see it with Arsenal is, and a lot of teams that do challenge in one season and then challenge the second, is it's very easy to just go back to what you were before.
But they
Then
can't.
stay.
They can't go back to what
Arsenal,
they were before.
they've got a strong 11, but Eddie Nketiah is not someone I think, oh my god, he's gonna power them to a
I don't
league
think
title.
anyone
No,
says that though. No one's saying
No,
that though. I don't think anyone is expecting that of Eddie.
one says,
I don't think Arsenal are going to win a league title.
No, they're not. That's why I
I,
don't think they're in the title. I'm not discrediting what they've got. I'm speaking realistically of in terms of what is achievable for them this season. Yeah, it's like we were saying. Eddie Nketiah is not a bagsman. Gabriel Jesus is not a bagsman. But what they do have is the quality to make goals around the squad. So play to your strengths in terms of spreading the love of the goals. Go back to the way you were set up formation wise. Get your top four. Go into the summer. Go try and sign someone that is going to get you goals. Maybe a Vlahovic. Maybe it goes to someone like a Boniface. Maybe I'm not too sure who they would be
Vangelis,
realistically trying to sign.
very quickly, Vangelis Pavlidis. That's who I chose for Arsenal's
Oh,
cheap
Isaac.
signing.
Yeah, Isaac was my choice. I said Alexander
Perfect
Isaac.
for Arsenal.
Yeah,
Perfect for
crazy
Arsenal.
and not having anybody to go get out of my way. I'm scoring that. For me, it's just like it don't mean nothing because you can create all the chances, you can pass it and get all these lovely players into position. But being a striker is about going get the f out the way. I'm scoring
I
that.
know that's what I'm saying
Move
about
up.
them like next season. Yeah, I know, but I agree with you. But that's next season. Currently, they haven't got that possibility. FFP is an issue. We know about the financial issues around the Premier League. So I think right now, for you just play towards what your strengths are currently, and currently they will get third, and then go to the summer, go sign a summer signing that is going to play number 9, and then go for the title then because right now, I think if Arteta thinks he's got something cooking, it's not a great paella. That's all I got to say. I can move on to number 2 if you want.
Yeah, your top 2. I like
Top
that.
2. I've gone with Liverpool at number 2. This isn't me discrediting what Liverpool have. It's just how solid Man City's B team, C team, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K teams are. You know, they've just got depth on depth. They've just got, you know, you take out Haaland, you got Julian Alvarez to deal with. You take out Kevin De Bruyne. Bernardo Silva was still, you know, ticking the time around. Foden is a very good player as well, regular starter. I just feel like Pep Guardiola and the Man City squad just have too much of a quality. And I feel like when you guys were saying Liverpool aren't, you know, stressing, they're relaxed. And they did it last time that they won the league. The last time that they won the league, it was a COVID season. That's why they were so relaxed because they did have the cop end scaring them. And that's what I think Liverpool's problems are. And, you know, even as cool as they look, I don't think in front of the fans they look as solid as they do because Arsenal for 2 seasons in a row have threatened them at Anfield or last season only. I can't remember exact. No, it was 2 seasons in a row now. Arsenal have threatened them. Yeah, Arsenal have threatened them at Liverpool. You know, there's other teams that have gone. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they've gone to Anfield and they threaten them because I feel the players are too scared to play in front of the cop end. So I feel like, personally, for me, mentality-wise, Man City have got it. I mean, it does help you play under a lesser audience at the Etihad Stadium, but yeah, that's just what I feel.
Can I
I just feel like when they won the Champions League, I think something changed at Liverpool, where it was no longer about having fun and laying off the ball and letting a Sadio Mane hit the top corner or letting a Mo Salah hit the bottom corner. I think something changed where they were like, "No, we've got to start performing." Now.
Expectation. That's all it is. Expectation is the downfall of every single fan base and every single football club. Because do you think us as Aston Villa fans, do you think if we finish out the top 6 now, we'll be happy? But if you said to us at the start of the season you're going to finish 7th again, we would have been like, yeah, we'll take that. But now that we've got the expectation of how good we are, we now are like, well, we need to finish in the top 6 now. Expectation changes everything. That's why Man United fans are on suicide watch, because your expectation is in the gutter. On that note, very quickly, guys, Chris, who you got winning the title?
I got Liverpool. Unfortunately, it is a disgusting situation. The Liverpool also was like, do you want to be kicked to the balls or do you want your eye poked out? Like, which one do you want? Liverpool to win the title.
We will be doing a Man United intervention for Chris soon. Oz, who have you got winning a title?
The blue side of Manchester City.
And
I'm really starting to dislike this Oz guy. I can't lie. Why do you have to say the
I just enjoy prodding a Man United fan. It's it's on my CV of like skills.
But this Manchester United intervention is gonna go pretty. We'll have to reserve at least 2 hours for that.
Yes, please.
Might even have to do it in person. And myself,
definitely at the studio.
Yeah, at the studio.
Yeah.
And myself, I have Liverpool winning the title, but deep down, I know that Man City are going to win the title. Just what they do.
Exactly.
And with that, that has brings us to an end for our mid-season Premier League predictions. We will be updating these predictions at the end of the season, seeing how we all do. Might even get a point system, see who wins. Just want to say a massive thank you to Chris from the free agent zone. If you are any YouTube podcast and you need someone to belittle his own team, but also make you laugh on camera, go sign Chris. Massive thank you again to Oz from the Clique45 podcast, but also the FOOTNOW podcast as well. And my name has been LeTJ. Just want to say a massive thank you to League Predictor. Throughout the video, you will see some graphics of the League Predictor app. Doesn't just stop at the Premier League. You can go predict the Championship, League 1, League 2, La Liga. You can even go predict other sports like NFL, rugby. I think they've got cricket on there now. So go check out the League Predictor app. I'll put the link down below. We've been FOOTNOW. Thank you very much. See you soon.